This one's seamless. Right, I am going to assume I'm online. It is Sunday night again. Good evening wherever you are in the world. It is 10 p.m. here in the UK. It is, what time is it? It is about 5 p.m. in the US, I believe. I hope everyone is safe and well. Good evening, MacVision. Nice to see you in the comments. Hope you are well, my friend. The system, I believe, is working tonight. I have checked things, double-checked things, triple-checked things, and I am hoping I have nailed this one tonight. Now, tonight, again, we're going to be taking a look at some stuff I've covered a few times on the channel, but I want to give you guys a little bit of insight into a few things. We're going to talk a bit about the Inspire 2, and specifically, I'm going to talk about the Cendence. We're going to pull the module out of the Cendence. If you've never seen it, we're actually going to take it out. I had to think about what I wanted to show this week earlier, and I thought, oh, that would be quite cool. And I'm going to just talk a little bit around the Inspire 2 because I did a huge amount of beta testing on that platform with DJI. There's a few other things I did with them as well, and I'll explain a little bit more about that as the video goes on. We are going to be talking about the digital FPV system from DJI in two ways. One of the ways is showing you guys the build I've been doing, where I have been testing this with something quite interesting, and then I'll be showing you guys a couple of other things on it as well, and we'll talk a little bit about the sale and stuff like that too. Now, if there is any questions you guys have got as we are doing this, please do put them in the comments. I have it live on screen here so I can see everything that you're saying to me. It's up on the screen, it's there next to Three Blind Men and an Elephant, which I was watching earlier. I might talk a bit about that in a minute as well. So if you do have any comments, please do stick them in the chat as well. Now, wherever you are in the world, I hope you are safe and well. The weather here today has been quite good. I've actually flown a drone today, which is something I haven't done in a very, very long time. I've flown one for about 20 minutes, and it was what you saw on the bench over there. And we will talk about that in a second. Now, I do also want to touch on one or two other things as well at the same time. I'm going to briefly mention about the situation with the Gatwick couple. There's been a bit of news on that today, and I just want to give my take on that as well before I get into looking at things too deeply. Good evening, Enrique. I think it's Enrique. How are you doing? English is not very good, but I'd like to understand better. Yeah, it's funny enough, I saw your post on that earlier. That's something I need to look into on YouTube. The subtitling. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I will be honest. I will look into it for you, though, I promise. It's not something I've ever looked at before on YouTube. I did at one point, and I can't remember what the score was with it, and I turned it off. Really, if it's available, then it should be there. I just don't know, is it on for everyone, or is it only on certain areas and stuff like that. You'll also have a bit of a hard time understanding me at the best of times because my English isn't particularly great, even though I'm not English, I'm Welsh. But yes, let's just say my spoken English isn't particularly great, and with the Welsh accent twang on it as well, it's not going to be great. Good evening, Sasha. How are you doing? Hope you are well, my friend, wherever you are in the world. Welcome on board. So the first things I want to talk to you guys about before we start looking at the hardware, because I'll get this stuff out of the way, and we are going to have a cool look at some of the hardware today. Let's put the desktop up. I'll just talk about Three Blind Men and an Elephant very quickly. If you guys are into your photography at all, check out this channel. Absolutely check out this channel. It's become one of my favourite YouTube channels, period. The gentleman's name is Hugh. The way he does his videos is outstanding. Simply outstanding content. And if you are someone who's into your cameras, which I am, it is very, very interesting. And what I like about him is the way he does his videos and the way he puts it across. Even if you're not into your cameras, go watch one of his videos and tell me what you think. But I don't often talk about other YouTube channels, but you know, he's a big channel, 770,000 subs, outstanding creator, but literally it's one of those channels that can brighten my day, and it is as simple as that. Typey, how are you doing? Good evening, my friend. Hope you are well. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit quickly about this Gatwick thing. Now, I'm going to move down because I don't want to put them on screen for too long because they haven't asked for any of this. So I don't want to publicise their faces any more than necessary. Now, this is the couple, if you don't know, who at the height of the Gatwick incident in the UK, where there was an alleged drone in Gatwick, had their house ransacked by the police. They were arrested, subject to questioning for 36 hours, and then released simply on the basis that someone said he used to own a drone. And it was frankly shocking and disgusting what happened to them. Their lives were turned upside down. Their faces were all over the press because there was 3 days of interrogation. So the press absolutely ran with it. Their lives were turned inside out, completely destroyed as a result of this. Well, the reality was that A, they were nothing to do with it because we don't even think there was a drone there, but they've just had a payout from the police in the UK of £200,000 for wrongful arrest and what was done. And whilst they absolutely deserve that money, in fact, it should be 3 times it, 4 times it, 5 times it. They deserve absolutely everything they've got. What is concerning in this is it's just another brick been taken out of the wall of this whole Gatwick situation, that it was a complete farce and total nonsense. And it is still left me today concerned about what would happen if something happened in my local area. Where I live, I'm quite close to a couple of quite high-end installations with regards to fuel, and there has been problems around here with drones flying in the past. Nothing particularly bad, but people doing, let's say, pushing the boundaries. And I'm aware of one gentleman who actually had the police turn up to his home, threatened to confiscate his equipment under the anti-terror laws just because he filmed some things going on from a safe distance. So this situation has proven to me that if you are in the right place, regardless of if there is evidence or not, they are more than willing to come and kick your door in, arrest you and question you for 36 hours. And the reality is, someone who, like myself, is a PFCO, a commercial operator, and you are someone who is registered, as I am, you know, I put a big target on my head. But yeah, look, it's great that they have received a substantial amount of money here. How much they'll end up being left with after the legal costs and stuff, who knows? But it isn't enough. It is completely disgusting behaviour. And frankly, what we've now had is a situation of £200,000 being paid out from £200,000 being paid out of public money, whereas there's no one been held to account for this wrongful arrest. There's no one lost their jobs over it, and it's all being swept under. Now, I do know a couple of guys are doing some real good digging into this, and I'm not going to go too much into it because there's some guys trying to get some answers here. There really is. But it's a bit of a win for the couple. I sincerely hope they can get on with their lives after this. Just go and find somewhere. It's not that much money, £200,000. It's not that much in reality. Typex were 36 hours. So they were questioned for 36, or held for 36 hours, whilst their house was ransacked, turned inside out and everything like that. So it's just another nail in the coffin in the fact of that, was there even a drone at Gatwick? I don't think there was. And it's just another nail in the coffin of that even taking place. But I did think I would talk about it very quickly, and it will guaranteed be the top subject on Tuesday, I suspect. Good evening, Bruce, talking about Tuesday. I suspect we will mention it on Tuesday, to say the least. I wish them all the best. I hope they can disappear into wherever they want to for the rest of their lives, because they didn't deserve it. And I also hope they get a ton of money out the press, because the press absolutely annihilated them. And I was one of several people did it, and the second this happened, I was very cautious about mentioning them on Facebook and places like that, because I felt from day one this stank. It really did, and it's been proved to be the case. So I can guarantee we'll be talking about it Tuesday. I can guarantee it is. Yeah, it's not going to go that fast. Not that much money, is it? Let's be honest. So I'm not going to put their faces up. I really don't want to add to anything that they've been going through. It is a newsworthy story, but I don't want to share, you know, it's unnecessary to show their face on screen. It really is. So I'm going to click close on that one, just so I don't accidentally do it as well. And I agree with you, Philip. Phil, good evening. Hope you are well. Yeah, it was a complete mess. The whole thing was a farce. I honestly do not think there was a single drone there. I honestly do not think there was a single drone there. But we're going to have to see. Now, just to talk about the FPV system a little bit, because there's two things to talk about on this one. First of all, there is a sale on, as I put out a video just mentioning it. It's worth checking out. Now, it isn't, pardon me, available everywhere. It isn't available in Bruceland. It isn't available in Madland. It's currently only available in the US and Canada. However, it is a Father's Day sale. So it might come to the UK next week, because it's Father's Day in the UK next week, not this week, but we're going to have to see. I've got an order in waiting to go for this. You know, I've got some stuff I want to order. I need another air unit. I got some stuff I want to do, but I'm holding off just in case these prices do come down. And it's not in Europe. No, exactly. So we're going to have to see if it is going to be a US one or not. But if you are in the US, there is some substantial savings to be had here. You know, you've got the goggles down to $409, sorry, which is pretty good. I think the best deal is the experience combo, which is $639, because you're getting 2 air units with that one. You know, it's $40 off the remote controller. It's not a lot. I'd like to have seen the air units come down. What we do need with this system is the air unit prices to drop substantially. We really do. I'm not, you know, the goggle price I think is okay. I don't have a big concern with the goggles price. It's okay. For me, it's the air unit pricing, which is, it needs to be $100, £100. I think then it becomes an acceptable level. If you look back, the really good VTXs were £50-60 or $50-60 when you were buying them in the early days. So I think if we can get a VTX and camera for 100-110, I think it will be okay. I think people will be happier at that. I think 179 is just too much. It's too much to be paying. And it's the reason I haven't bought any more. I haven't brought myself to spend any more that much on one. It's as simple as that. So there is some discounts available that it is worth checking out. And as I said, I've got an order. I need some antennas because I broke one, and I'll talk about that in a little bit in a minute as well. Had an absolute nightmare. I bloody hate MMCX. It's just such a brittle connector. And the irony was, I'd actually fixed these ones, and I'll show you what I've actually done, because I've soldered mine a little bit to stop them actually pulling out. But it does need to come down. Yeah, as Bruce says, the goggle price I think is really good. I think the goggle price is really, really good overall. Okay, the analog isn't perfect. And that's something I've just remembered. It's as bad as USB. Ha ha ha, Bruce. Yeah, this one actually is genuinely crap though. But yeah, it is really. It needs to be that $100. The goggle prices is fine. And I've seen something cool this week, and I'll share it now. And I've just remembered, and I need to find it, and it's on my phone, about a new faceplate that's available for the system, and it's being made in the UK. Let me just find what it's actually called, because I saw it and I forgot about it when I find it. So hopefully these sales are going to come. I'll find out. I think if it's going to come in the UK, we'll know about midweek, but I haven't seen any hints about it yet. I haven't seen any true messages about it yet. Okay, it's not on that group. Sorry, it was sent to me on a group, it was. So I'm just trying to find this new faceplate. Unless someone remembers it. If anyone can remember what it is, if you know what I'm talking about, it's a new all-in-one faceplate. Aha, here we go. I got the pictures of it, but I haven't got the actual bloody name of it. I'm going to have to find it on Facebook now. Yeah, it's interesting with the analog, because these ones let's go to full camera a second, because I can find what I'm talking about. These ones do have analog built in, the original ones. Now I'm actually selling these now. I've decided to sell these because I'm just not using them anymore with the original RE system. So we've got the original camera and air unit over here. I've just stripped it out of a drone this week. And these do have analog built in. However, the DJI ones do not, which is annoying. Which is very, very annoying indeed. Right, let me just find this. I forgot, I remembered this in the week and then I forgot about it again. So what I need to do is just find, and it is a new faceplate which is ready to go. And it has the module electronics all in the back as well. You can make the 3D printed ones, Bruce. It's a horrible thing to print. I know, I haven't tried one myself yet. I have a friend who's tried a few times, and he's a far better 3D printer than I ever. He's highly experienced, and he had real trouble with it, real trouble, because of the way and the angles it's on. Let me just find it down here. We will find it in a second. Shocked it's this far down while I'm scrolling down Facebook. It's a UK company making it as well, which is quite interesting. I'm gonna have to search, aren't I? Faceplate. Where is it? Why does this is what I hate about Facebook. You see something and you think that's awesome, and then it disappears on you and you can never find it again. It really is frustrating at times. I'm gonna have to message someone and say, what's that faceplate called? Scrolling down. Little bit leaving, a little bit low. That's interesting. I thought it might be a little bit high tonight because I had done some adjustments and I thought it might be a tad high. Does anyone else think it's low? And if it is, I will jack it up a bit in OBS because I hate Facebook. I found it. Who's it called? Right, I found it. I'm just trying to find the link to the website. Where is it? Where is it? Hate Facebook. Hate Facebook. Very low. Okay, so let's sort that out first of all, shall we? Okay, so I've jacked it up on maximum now on OBS, and then I will I found one piece. UK. It's in, as I said, it ships from the UK. Right. Found it. Perfect. Share this with you. There we go. Please let me know how that is, guys. I've jacked it up a tad more now. Right. Digi adapter is called, $44.99. It's not 3D printed. It's a plug and play adapter, which has the cable slots on the side, the module bay on the front as well, and it literally looks like DJI made it. It honestly is that clean and tidy. You think that it's natural. It came from them themselves. If it wasn't for the power sockets on the side, you would think. It's a plug and play solution, so it comes with all the electronics and the module bit in, no soldering needed whatsoever. It comes with the adapter cables on the side as well. It's very, very clean, very tidy indeed. So if you are looking for an adapter for the digital FPV system for analog, it's worth a look. $44.99 isn't the cheapest in the world, but to be fair, it is very nice indeed. And all the reports are great about it as well. One of the models at the moment. Power plug, yeah, mine is fine, but mine is a beta set, so I don't know if something changed. No, it doesn't include the module, Bruce, no. It's just the faceplate. The faceplate, it comes with the electronics behind it to take the module, but not the module itself. So, it's a nice clean solution if you were looking for an out-the-box one, put it that way. But it does just go to show what DJI could have done. How close they could have been to having this with a module bay. Internal wiring, that's all they'd have had to have done, is just that, and it would have been very, very tidy. Very, very tidy indeed. So worth a look if you are looking for a very tidy adapter. It really is. But no, on the power socket, mine is solid. Mine is absolutely solid. No issues with it at all. Mine stays in, it latches hard. I've definitely heard people have problems with theirs. That definitely happens. But I can hang my goggles from mine. So I don't know if it's the cable, if it's... Yeah, let's put the URL, shall we, guys? I'll put it in the chat. There you go, guys. UK gentlemen, well worth a look if you're looking for a tidy solution. It's the tidiest one I've seen. It really is. I would buy that instead of 3D printing because I know how hard the damn thing is to 3D print. So I would end up just going that route. But very cool. Very cool indeed. Okay, whilst I am talking about FPV, as I said, the sale is on. Hopefully we'll see it come over. I'll just show you guys what I've been messing with on the bench. And today, I have actually flown this, what I'm showing you. I'm just waiting to check it actually does go over. Does it actually? Yeah, it's gone over. Okay, now this is a test rig, which I'm just using. I'm going to show you quickly. It's set up with a V5 Plus from CUAV. It's GPS. This isn't a racing quad. It's an F450 frame. But there is a DJI FPV system in there, and the reason for that is I've been doing some tests on ArduPilot, trying to just take a look at it, how it's going to behave with the new MSP. Now I've been talking to the ArduPilot devs, and they've got a fantastic guy working on this, and they're trying to see if they can bring this support in to ArduPilot to allow the FPV system to work natively. Now, there is an adapter available for this at the moment, or a converter, I should say, and I will jump back on the PC and show you that in a minute. But this is going to give you native support rather than just the standard support that you would usually get. So this is what I built up yesterday. It is, as I said, a 450, very quickly testing, GPS, V5 Plus, which I've torn out of something else, very badly thrown together, literally just tossed together, and then battery on the bottom with the FPV system in there, and you can see I've got one of the antennas sticking out there, and there I've got the Pagoda antenna off the digital FPV RE system. And the reason I've got the Pagoda antenna is because the damn FPV antenna broke on me, and the connector actually failed. Now, just to show you this, these are known to fail. Now, let me just focus this where I can show you it. Okay. These have a habit of the... I've lost it. There it is. These have a habit of the tubular bit here that comes out actually breaking free and going into the receiver and not, sorry, transceiver or transmitter, and not coming out. And then you're left trying to pull it out with a pair of tweezers. And you can actually get it out and then put it back in. Now, what I ended up doing on both of my antennas was just running a small amount of solder around there to stop them actually breaking free. Let me just find where the focus point is. It's there. And I did that. But now it's ended up shearing off further down. And that ended up leaving a piece of it inside my air unit. And I ended up yesterday poking it with some of the tweezers to get it out. I did manage to get it out in the end. And that's why I've ended up going over to the Pagoda antenna. Let's just refocus. Because I am on manual focus on this. And that's why I've ended up having the Pagoda in there. Because that one is broke. And that's why if you look on my thing, I've got an order in for some new antennas. So, as I said, I have been testing this. This is running Quadricopter, latest version. There's no adapters on board. There's no converters. It is straight MSP into the air unit. And we've been giving it a bit of a try. And so far, so good. The dev is absolutely outstanding. The guy's put in a huge amount of time into this. And the thing to understand with the Quadripilot community is it's community driven. And there's, you know, it's entirely people putting in their time to be able to get this stuff done. Is the Pagoda properly polarized? Probably not, but I was only testing it. I've just read the Tone comment, Bruce. Nicely done, nicely done. Look at the Tone. Yeah, let me just put some more Tone on that for us. With the, that's not enough Tone. There we go. I've gone full Tone for you, Bruce. Full Tone. But yeah, that one probably not. They're left-hand circular polarized, that one is. To be honest, I was only flying it 8 foot off the ground. It was a test flight to see how it behaved. This wasn't about flying it out at any range. This was literally about getting it into the air. Put you back on that camera. Now the Tone is in full force. Now, you can use Quadripilot today with the FPV system. There is a way of doing it, and there's a converter available, and it is a piece of software that allows you to convert MSP to Mavlink and runs on an Arduino. FPV Mavlink, let me just actually find the GitHub for it, and it's actually a GitHub. So what you actually have to do, I'll just put this up here, you get yourself an Arduino, and it works on one type of Arduino. I can't remember if it's the Micro or the Nano. That's the Nano. There we go. You hook it up to the serial port, you upload the sketch onto the Arduino, and it will convert the data for you. So there is actually a way today of doing the Mavlink to MSP conversion. However, the idea behind the little bit of work the Quadripilot team are doing is to try and get full support. And again, it's fantastic news. And if it happens, I think it'll make a lot of people happy as well. I flew it today for the very first time. So I've been giving them a hand as much as I possibly can to try and get this to happen. And if I've even offered to lend my equipment. I'll send it over to them if I need to be able to try and make this happen. It'll benefit everyone that way as well. But if you don't want to wait for that, you can use it today. And you can do it that way. Now, as I said, the MMCX antenna connectors are bloody horrible, absolutely horrible. What I'm going to end up doing is going to this ear unit to MMCX to SMA. Oh, I think it's RP SMA off the top of my head, and then I'll probably go with those ones. I just don't like the connector thing. Yes, that would mean they would have Sasha MSP support in Quadripilot then, if that was to happen. Still early days, but yes. Yep. Yes, I do. I have a custom version, which is the version that they've been testing. It's not even the master. It's a version that's been tested today. Yeah, oh yeah, the Vista UFL, that is, yes, 100% Bruce, it is even worse, I agree with you. I would not be using that without an adapter cable at all. I wouldn't even consider using it without an adapter cable. You can understand why they didn't want to go SMA, but personally, on the back of that ear unit, it should have 2 standard SMA sockets. and let us do it. I don't particularly like the fact of, I've crashed mine so many times, and to be fair, it has survived. But I have seen people rip the MMCX ports off the back of the air unit. Obviously, the UFLs are getting torn off the Vistas like they're going out of fashion. It's just a horrible way. And you're right, Sasha, size, but we had SMAs. We've got SMAs on much smaller units. You know, there's no technical reason. You know, if I, like in my spares box, look, we've got a VTX there with a 90 on. You know, they can do it. That's the 90-degree ones, which I've never particularly liked as well. You know, over the years, we've been able to do it. It's just, they went down the MMCX route with the original air unit on the RE system, and they've taken it forward again. I don't like it at all, but what can you do? It is what it is. So, just to show you guys, if you are interested in having the conversion, I will put a link to that in the comments as well. If you are interested in doing the conversion as well, that is worth a look. Yeah, and do you know what, Bruce? You're right on that. Something like a micro SMA, it is massively too big anyway. So there's technically no reason that a smaller connector, because the MMCX has been okay for internal use, but it's not ideal for external. That horrible latching mechanism, the way you have the ring that goes around that squeezes in, it asking for trouble. It really, really is asking for trouble. You need the connector to go in and lock and hold the center pin in the right place, because the problem is on an MMCX, as the connector rotates, the center pin going in is rotating as well, and that's basically wearing on the bit of metal, the socket that is receiving that pin, and after time it's just going to become loose and no good anyway, so it's going to be a total waste of time. But if you are guys interested in doing the conversion, it is there for you as well. Now, just a quick one, I'll talk about RoboMaster before I get onto the Inspire stuff. I believe very shortly the EP is going to be available in the USA, hopefully the rest of the world. I haven't had it 100% confirmed, but I do believe it is coming. Now, the only way I can actually show this is to find... yeah, definitely at the Sasha, at the list of bad connectors, it starts with UFL at the top, then MMCX, and then down from there. If we go into DJI China, and we can go onto the RoboMaster, and will it Mech Master? Is it Mecha Master? Is it over there? Is it China? Where is it? See, I'm not even sure I can actually... That's interesting. Look at that. Where's the EP not showing over there? Why? Let's have a look. It was on DJI.com. There it is. It's not in the store for some reason. That's a bit weird. So hopefully the EP is going to come. Now, I've also seen some cool things on the S1, and officially the S1 and the EP are not compatible, in the sense that the arm, the new sensors, will not work with it. However, a gentleman has messed with the SDK and has got compatibility working with this stuff. Now, DJI said it won't work, yet he appears to have had it working. So that is quite interesting indeed. Now let me just find this, because I want to show you. I'll show you this. Before I put it on Facebook. The official RoboMaster S1 group, which I started, and that's the conversation I'll have one day with you guys when I'm able to. And let me just find what I wanted to show you. because it is very cool. It is very cool, and it goes directly against what we were being told, basically. Let me just look on the group. Recent posts. Just remember this one myself. It's actually on DJI Forum is where it is. But here you go. Fan-bloody-tastic. Okay, so let me get onto the desktop and mute the audio because we don't need to hear that. And what we've got is a guy with the RoboMaster S1. And the thing to remember with the S1 is the S1 doesn't support the SDK officially. Only the EP supported the SDK officially. However, they've now said that it is. He's converted it. He's got it working. And he's copied the files over. And he can even get the distance sensors to work and everything else. Now, what is a bit frustrating to those of us who bought this is that, you know, DJI brought this model out, which is cool. Then they brought a new model out, which is very cool. Yet we can't use the very cool model stuff on our one. And it's not even available over here yet anyway. But yeah, what he's managed to do is get the SDK working with the S1 and then tested all of the sensors with it as well, I believe. He hasn't got them on there, but he has got all of the new stuff working as well. So there's a lot of work guys are doing on this in the background. You can see that he's got the SDK running there. It's all in Python. So yeah, very cool. But the belief is that we will see the RoboMaster AP coming to the US and hopefully the rest of the world very shortly. The EP is pretty cool indeed. You know, let's be honest. It's a cool bit of kit, and it's everything the S1 should have been. And I know I got caught on this one as well, in the sense of DJI are very good at releasing a first generation product and then a short period of time later releasing a second generation, which is everything you ever wanted in the first generation product. And much of this, I think, is done. I'm not going to say it's intentional. However, I will say that it's done, I think, they test the market before they put too much effort into it. And then they test it and they see what it's like. And then they take it and see if the sales go well, and if they do go well, then they put more time and investment in. And you know, I still will say to this day, the S1 has been one of the most enjoyable things I have built in a long time. The fit and finish on this little robot over here is unbelievable. It really is. It's here. My kids, it was playing with it in the garden. I'll show you this. Look. I have a tub full of beads ready to go, ready to fire off, up there all of the time. They're ready to go. It is one of the most enjoyable things I've ever built. It really is a fantastic bit of kit. It really, really is. There's just some things I wish were better, and the EP does that. Now, if you've got any questions, guys, while I grab myself a drink, please do put them in the comments, and then we're going to talk about the Inspire. Thank you, Bruce. It is a nice chair. I cleaned my chair today as I'm getting ready to release my third video on it. You'll be looking forward to that one. You'll be looking forward to that one. I've also got a big bar of chocolate my wife bought me as well, because it was my wedding anniversary yesterday. It's getting hot in here again, if you can see me shouting as well. Okay, what I want to talk to you guys about next is the Inspire 2. It's got more views on my channel than any other video, Bruce. I think it's not this target market. Okay, I want to talk a bit about the Inspire 2 in a minute. Yeah, and it is frustrating, Sash. Look, I helped set up the original group, the RoboMaster S1 group on Facebook. I helped set up the FPV group. The FPV group used to be part of the, it actually used to be called DJI Displays. And I was the one that converted it alongside the admin at the time over to the other groups. For those of you who don't know, I used to actually help outrun some of the Facebook groups for a few companies, if I'm honest. I helped run the DJI ones for a period of time. I helped run all of the DJI groups for a period of time alongside some very good people. I was a voluntary admin, but I did do it. I did it for over 2 years, and I had a lot of involvement in testing some products as well, and that's part of showing you what I'm going to show you in a minute. But you have to build it. Yeah, I seen one on it. There's one on eBay now. It is a thoroughly enjoyable build. It's almost better than the product itself. It's just building it. I'll be honest, I'd build them all day if someone wanted to pay me to. I just enjoy doing it. It's very well put together. It really is. Now, as I was saying, you know, over the years I've been lucky. I've been involved in various things. I've helped run some of the Facebook groups. I set up the Facebook group for this one. I helped set up the Facebook group for the other things. I've been very lucky to have been involved in some of the beta testing on some of the products as well. You know, if I go back, I beta tested the Crystal Sky when it first came out. Where is my Crystal Skies? I have two of the initial production run Crystal Skies, in fact. I never had a 2000 nits. I only ever had the 1000 nits models. Why are they hiding from me? I had one out earlier. There's one, there's the other. Sorry, I'm being blind. It's all been away because I haven't been flying. So I did the original beta test on the Crystal Sky. Good device, not perfect, but it was a good device. That's literally a production run one. And then I beta tested on the Inspire 2. I bought my Inspire 2, but I still did the beta testing on it. And I then had this thing, the Cendence. This was literally one of the first ones off the production line, just to show you how. If you look at the back of this, look, it's not even got a cover yet because they hadn't manufactured the covers to go on the back when I got it. This came from the factory, which was sent directly to me, and it's a final production model, so it all looks correct, it works correct. It just was bareback at the time. And the real interesting thing when this one arrived was it was broke. The irony was, it was sent in a cardboard box wrapped in bubble wrap. Literally just a remote controller, and tossed in the bottom was, where is it? Let me just find it. This. Tossed in the bottom of the box was this, which I didn't even know what it was because there was no instructions. There was no instructions for it, no user guide, no. All I knew was this was a new remote control that was coming for the Inspire 2. This was in the box, and we didn't have a clue what it was. We assumed it's an antenna because it's got two connections on it, so you know, logic is an antenna. We assumed it was a flat panel patch antenna, directional, but the funny part about it was I was one of 3 people to get it, and we didn't know which way around it went because there's no arrows on them. When you get them at the factory now, they actually have arrows on to tell you which way it goes, but when I got it, there was nothing on it. There was nothing. I hadn't a clue which way it went. So I had to take it apart, literally brand new. I had to take it apart to have a look inside, and I made the video on it then to show you guys as well. If you haven't seen it, I strip it down. It's a flat panel patch antenna, and it's only 4 screws to get into that. You never know, we might. But as I said, when I got the Cendence, it was broke. This right-hand controller here had been hit in the box because it hadn't been wrapped very well, and it had slightly dislodged. And it wasn't working properly, so I ended up having to completely strip it down, brand spanking new, completely strip it down and have a look. And I've actually got some pictures, so I'm going to share that with you tonight. We're going to actually take the module out because I'll show you the module, because the module's quite cool on this. It's only a couple of screws, and we'll take it out. Vision UAV, is it worth the investment? Yes. It's not worth the money, but it's worth the investment, and I'll explain what I mean by that. If you are someone who is a single op all the time, this will make your life so much easier. I wouldn't want to fly an Inspire 2 without it. I could fly an Inspire 2 without it and get on just fine. But there is a few little things that it does that makes life 10 times easier. That is not to say it is worth £1,000, which it costs. So it isn't worth the money, but I wouldn't want to use it without it. And I think it's a valuable investment for a commercial operator who is flying daily. And that is how I would say on this. If you fly your Inspire 2 daily and you just want to think, you know what, I am lacking some stuff, you will like this. The fact that you can control the rates on the control dials on the side is really cool. So you can slow it right down and take some nice slow footage and then whack the rates up and fly the aircraft back. You can close the warnings that pop up on the screen, like the wind warning. You can close the wind warning with just one button. If you are a DJI user, you will know exactly what I'm talking about here. The damn wind warning can be made to go away by just going tap, 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 tap. Gone, 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 gone. You can switch between full screen maps and cameras. You can switch between the FPV cam and the full screen cam. You can program buttons to adjust things like the yaw control, the camera angle control, and various things like that. It is not a Taranis. It does not behave anywhere near as good as the Taranis. It has a tenth of the functionality, but it has pretty much everything you need, and it does make life so much easier on the Inspire 2. But it is not worth $1,000, £1,000 in any stretch of the mind. Yeah, to be honest, I can see this going end of life. I will be honest, Vision UAV, I can see this disappearing. I honestly can. What I will say is there is a reason you don't see many of these being sold used. Because they are good. Because people don't want to sell them. It hasn't lived up to its promise in the sense of when DJI made this originally, it has a removable radio module. So the idea was that as new aircraft come out, you will be able to upgrade the module. The irony of this is they haven't made any aircraft that support this. The M200 version 1 uses the Cendence on the Lightbridge 2. The M200 version 2 moved to OcuSync on the Cendence on Lightbridge 2, but the module was never available, and there's no other aircraft you could use it with as well. And there has been no OcuSync module made for it that would allow you to use it with a Mavic, for instance. I think if a module came out for £200-300 for this, to allow it to work with the Mavic 2, I'd probably buy it. Because I love this remote. I absolutely love this remote. And as you can see, I got the 4Hawks antenna on at the moment. It's not the original one. I got the sticks off it. But it is. But what we'll do is we'll pop the module out in a second. So I'm going to put that back on the bench with Tone. Now, obviously, we've got the Inspire 2, and I'll talk a bit about the aircraft first, because my one is actually broke. And this happened just outside the warranty. And I don't know if any of you other guys have had this. Let me just find a battery. One of my battery releases has actually failed on mine. So obviously on the Inspire 2, you've got your battery compartments on the back. You've got your release button up here. And on mine, one of the latches, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this. Let's have a look. Is broke. Now that is meant, if I stick my face next to it, it'll focus because it's on autofocus. That is broke. It just moves. Now that is meant to be spring loaded. If I go to this side, that is actually spring loaded, and that's what pushes your battery out. So on mine, if I take this battery, slot him in, and lock, when I press the button, the battery does spring back a tad, basically. However, on this side, there's no spring at all. So it goes in, and there's just no spring there at all. You end up having to pull it off. Now, the latch is fine. The latch works absolutely perfect. No problems with the latch whatsoever. It is simply that the spring release mechanism has failed. Very frustrating. You can replace this back end on the Inspire 2 this whole, not the easiest thing to hold, this whole back end here can be replaced, but it's like 70-80 quid, and I've just not got round to it. And it is a complete strip down of the aircraft as well. Total strip down. Now, before I go into the bench and we take the module out of this, I thought I'd show you one more thing. And that is my, I'm showing you a bit of history here. This is my X5S. So for those who remember the X5 lineup, so what we originally had, the X3 and the X5 and the X5R on the Inspire 1. And then the Inspire 2 released with the X4S, the X5S, and now the X7. But originally, it wasn't going to be called the X5S. It was originally going to be called the X5 Mark II. Because this one, and this is an early release. Now what I'm going to have to do is get out of the way and see if this focuses. Come on, Sony. God, do you know, this is why I hate my Sony. The Sony is not capable of autofocusing at short range. Let's see where it kicks. Useless. Useless, Sony. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to zoom this one back out a second. Let's show you it on the bench. Let's get rid of Tony. We'll get rid of Tony. Let's zoom in and show you. There we go. So the original, right there, there you go. Found it. It was originally going to be called the X5 Mark II, and that is my X5S. It's a pre-release model, and it's exactly the same. No other changes, fully functional, on factory firmware today as well. Something to often take into account with some of the early stuff, it won't take factory firmware. So when you do get like a beta unit, you don't actually have the ability to update the firmware because they've changed something, but this one does. It's pretty much full final release. They just changed the name of it before it went out. But yeah, so that's a bit cool. You probably will not see another one of them anywhere. There are very few of them in existence. Now let me just shake this off a second, guys, because there's sand all over my mat before I take my remote controller apart. How I've got sand all over my mat, I don't know. Sorry, just cleaning my mat off. Where does the sand come from? Is it off the bottom of my camera bag, I wonder? I have been to the beach today. While I've cleaned my mat off, cool, this thing needs washing down. If you've got any comments, guys, stick them in. A cheap, yeah, I know, and this, don't go there with the Sony, because I know anyone who watches the channel will know how frustrated I get with this damn camera, because it has the worst short focal range of any camera I've ever used, period. Period. So let's just answer some questions before we go over to thing. Andrew Dibbins, Inspire 2 main workhorse? Yes. As a commercial operator, yes. The Inspire 2 does everything I ever wanted to do, pretty much. It just gets the job done. It really does. Reverse toner hay? Yes. Reverse toner hay, Bruce. Tubelogic webcam. Don't even go this, Asher. I know. The focus distance on this camera is useless. It is just terrible. Compared to the GH5. GH5 is just outstanding. Outstanding camera. Anyway, let's get the module out of this radio. So let's get on the bench. If you've got any questions while I'm doing this, guys, please put them up. What I am going to do, in fact, is just get my phone open as well, so I can look at the questions at the same time. Ooh, I can hear myself. Talk to the hand because the face. You don't want talk to the hand because you don't want to see the face. If any of you were watching the channel yesterday, that's the lens I stripped apart. I got it sorted in the end, all done and dusted. I'm 50-60% happy with the outcome. I need some more lighting on here. That I do know. Looking at the stream, the lighting just isn't great. Now, what I can do is I can actually bump the ISO a notch, but I think that's too much. Tell me what you think, if that's too much or not. Let's bump the ISO to 800 a minute. Ooh, no. Oh, God, no. Let's go back to 4. Yeah, that's too much. Too much. Okay, so as I said, I got the 4 Hawks antenna on. Now, someone did ask me about that. Who asked me about the 4 Hawks? Was it you, Andrew? No, it was Tabby Wolf. Yeah, look, I've flown it in testing. I've not flown it in anger that much. I think it is a touch better than the DJI patch antenna, and mostly because it's got a much wider field of view. The DJI one is really touchy, really touchy on the field of view. I do think the 4 Hawks one is better. If you've got the DJI one, I wouldn't buy the 4 Hawks. Okay, that would be what my advice would be. I wouldn't go out and spend the money. I don't think you'd see much of a difference. If you are someone though who bought the Cendence without the patch antenna, which you could, then I think I would probably get the 4 Hawks over the DJI patch. That would be my opinion on it. The difference in performance between the patch and the DJI antenna, it's not a lot. It's really not a lot. The patch antenna and the omnidirectional sticks. There is a difference, but it isn't fundamental. It really isn't fundamental. It helps, and it mostly helps. If you watch my video on it, I did speak about it, and where it helps specifically is in 1080p mode. That's where it actually helps, is that 1080p mode. Do you know, just look at this. I don't remember there being talks. Forgotten about that. That's where it gives you the best performance, is that. Just making sure I'm getting the right size. Nope. We're gonna but I wouldn't go out and spend to get one from the other, basically. Maybe a higher bit rate. This is turning into a talks. Oh, Bruce, that's terrible. That is terrible, but funny. I don't recall it being talks. It's been a while since I've done this. Now, it is only, I think it's 4 screws to actually take this module out, and it slides out of the back. Again, while I'm doing this, gents, if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat. Today's show is sponsored by Nord. No, it's not NordVPN anymore. Who is? It's Wix. Wix are sponsoring pretty much every video on YouTube at the moment. So today's video is sponsored by Wix. It isn't. Today's video is sponsored by me. On the air, please go ahead. Yes. Good afternoon, caller 1. Please go ahead. You are live. Don't say this and don't say that. Or please don't say bugger and don't say there's one for anyone who watches the old bow selector. PCB Way, Ridge Wallet, PCB Way, Ridge Wallet is a big one. Yeah, if you're watching Linus, Ridge Wallet are sponsoring PCB Way, a lot of stuff. Now, what you got is you got 2 screws, one there, and then you just got a screw here and here. Just going to flip up the bit of tape. It's just covering my serial number. That's all that's there for. I don't want that really to go out into the public domain. Although I probably have done it already. So once you've done it, this module actually pulls out. Now, it takes a little bit of a tug because it's in very, very hard. And it does come out. You've just got to give it a little bit of a tug. Now, this hasn't come out for probably 2 years, so that's why it's being a little bit more establishment. Oh, there you go. Well, that's me pulling on the wrong bits. That doesn't come out with the module. The module comes out of the center. I swear when I took this apart last time, that came out with it. No, it doesn't. I'm being an idiot. So the module comes out, and that reveals the radio module inside the Cendence. Now, what I'm going to do is get us down nice and close. Focus. There we go. And get it nice and center. So this is the main radio module inside the remote, which, yeah, mind the ribbon cables, which is the main radio section. So obviously the remote, this bit is doing the control, and this is handling the whole radio. Now it's got this virtual PCI type connection on the back, you know, very similar to what you find in a PC, and that's the main module connector, and that goes inside the remote, and I'll show you a little bit down there in a minute. What we've then got is this cooling system. Now the way they do this is there's a fan inside the remote, and I'll put the camera to look down there properly in a minute, but that blows in, and then it blows the air through all the way through the ducts, and it then comes out of the grid at the back there. And it's quite it's a very nice design when they did it. It is a very, very nice design, and yes, it is full of UFL and MMCX connectors. As I said, they tend to use them inside their radios. So what we have in here is we've got our two main antenna output connectors on this side here. So let me just rotate it round just so you can see it. So what you then have is the main connections down here and here, and these go up into the antenna ports here and here on the back, and these just go out. Now these are extremely brittle on this remote controller. A number of people have broken these over the years. They really have. So it is something to be careful of. However, if you were to break one, you can very simply pull them out, put SMAs on the back or something like that, and just use UFLs straight onto the board nice and easily if you wanted to. Then on this side of the board, MMCX. On this side of the board, you have the UFLs, and these go to the two patch antennas. Now, these are the patch antennas for the 5 gig link between the remote controllers. Now, these patches, as I understand it, are not to do with the 5 gig link in the radio. It is the 5 gig link between the remotes, and that is my understanding of the setup. So they use the patch antennas for that. Now they will also be involved in the 5 gig link as well, as I understand it, but the main purpose of these is for that secondary master slave link between the remote controllers. And the reason for that is the Inspire 2 has a weird setup on how it does dual ops. It sends the video from the aircraft to the first remote, and then the first remote to the second remote. And that's basically how it transmits the video between them when you're using dual ops. And that's also why people get a lot of problems. But that's the main top section of the remote, the unit. And then you've then got all your connectors down the back end here. So if you look at, we've got our SDI. Let me put him up and focus it. Put it the right way around helps. So we've got our SDI out, micro USB, CAN bus, HDMI, and our normal USB, and then that goes on onto that. Then on the back of the board, nothing really very special on this side. You simply then again just have your main cans covering the whole radio module, and then you've just got the edge connector down there that goes into the back of the radio, and that is the main radio module. So it was always clear that this was upgradable on this radio. You know, it was designed in such a way, let's just get the focus nice back down, it was always designed in such a way that it could be upgraded. However, yes, Bruce, you have spotted the interesting thing, and I'll mention that in a minute. And this is again why so many people, yes, why have directional antennas to the remote to remote? Yes, why would you do that when it would cause all sorts of problems? I will leave it at that. But yes, so when you're doing a master to slave and you're standing, say, 40 foot apart on the same horizontal plane, and it won't work. That's bizarre. Yeah, if you send your mate 50 foot in front of you and tell him to turn around and not face the drone and then point towards you, then it will work. That makes dual ops very good, doesn't it? Very handy. Yes, you have clicked onto one of the major failings of this system, Bruce. I'm just going to grab myself a drink, gentlemen. One of the major failings. Come on in, Sasha, what do you think? Let's have a guess. Let's hear it. Let's see what you got. I'll be tempted to hear. But yes, let's just say, Bruce, it was not the best design. Let's just say that, shall we? So, that is the Cendence module. Now, in the radio side, now I have actually taken this one apart. I'm not doing it today because this is one of the worst things I have ever taken apart in my life. It is just full of bits everywhere. It really, really is. So, just to try and show you down inside this, I'm going to need to focus somehow. I'm going to have to try and get some light in there as well, because you can't see. That's not working. We're going to use the phone for this. I'm going to put my torch on my phone and see if I can show you down in there. That's good TV, isn't it? Just try and move my hand, and there you go. So what you can see down in there, guys, is you've got the edge connector, and then you've got that little fan duct at the top. If you look, the fan duct is right at the top at this end, and there's this clear plastic shroud that ducts the fan up, right up into that module, and then blows it out the back. Now, I've got some internal pics on this, which I'll try and show you guys in a second, because I have to say the remote is very well made inside. It really, really is. But that is basically the internals of it. And then the module, as I showed, simply just then slots back in. Is this good content? Use a macro candle. Is this good content? That's a question I ask myself every day, Bruce. Sasha, or should we? Yeah. And then the module simply just slides in, give him a push, and he clips back in just like that. And that is the radio on the Inspire 2. And that's the Cendence, and that's the main section on it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these screws back in while I got you on here, and then I'll show you some of the pics of the inside, because I don't think there's many. I know I was probably the first to strip one down, but I don't think I've seen anyone post it, so I will show you, just to show you what it is like. A bit of a tear down on pictures, let's just say, but it is very well made. It is an extremely well made radio. I'm not going to say it's actually worth the money, but to be fair, the benefits of this thing, I do think, outweigh the hassle. It's not worth the money, but it is a very good bit of kit if you've got one. Would I buy it? Yes. Would I be happy about buying it? No. That's probably the safest way to put it, basically. And that's it. And it is, you know, it's got a lot of buttons. If you take into account, you know, if you look on the buttons, we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4. You then got the sliders on the sides down here. You've then got the program buttons. You've got that one, that one, that one, that one. You've got that one, that one. Those are your preset camera buttons. So that's how you adjust the camera settings. You've then got your control, focus control, which doesn't really work very well. But you've got it. You've got your return to home button. You've got your menu button. And there's also a button on the center of that. And then up on the corners, you've got your BG, your BH. You've then got your mode switch. You've then got your focus button, record button, autofocus on and off. And then you've got your gimbal control dials. And those two, having just those two, are a big benefit to most people. Most people like the fact you can pitch and pitch and yaw the gimbal independently of the aircraft. Whereas on the standard remote, which I've got next to me, this is the control for the camera controls. So that won't control the gimbal. And what you have to do on this one is swap this one between the controls. Whereas the Cendence actually allows you to do them both on that one. So that is the module on that one. That is the module on that one. And as I was saying on the X5, as I said, this was a pre-release as well. But it is a final unit. The only real difference is that Mark II on the front, which is a little bit of history on that one. It really is. Okay, hopping back over to the main camera. Ooh, is it gone off? Ooh, the Sony'd gone off. That was weird. Yeah. Battery. Yeah, no, this is on mains. Shouldn't have gone off. I must have not had the timer on permanently on the Sony. That must be what it is. I'm assuming I'm back up. Yes. Yeah, I'm Bruce. You are right. An open TX radio would be very expensive. And that is the thing. The Cendence is extremely well made. There is no question about that. It is madly well made. But it's $1,000. I think it's $1,000 now. What's it in the US? DJI store. I just can't remember. It is, you know, you do get what you pay for at the end of the day. Like, there's no question about that. And, you know, it is a very, very good product. I'm not going to come away from that fact. The problem is now, right, I've got this stuck in Chinese. I can't remember how to change it back now I'm in Chinese. DJI official website. Because I've got it in Chinese, where do we change it back? I had this problem before. The problem with the Chinese one is you can't set it to any other region. So let's close that. Let's close that and let's keep going back until DJI.com/UK. I can't even do it that way. There's a little funny issue on the DJI one that when you do it, you can't change the region back once you've gone to Chinese very easily, because DJI UK. Because it doesn't have the piece to change it. It's changed it. We used to pay $12.30 for top of the line. Yeah, and I think that's part of it, Bruce, as well. We've got used to cheap radios. That is the problem. Is we have got used to cheap radios where you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars now. Have you had your new one as well? Bruce, have you had that one yet? Sorry, I'm just trying to change this. No, I can't change it. I am stuck on Chinese. I'm going to have to cheat. I have to go on my other browser. DJI Cendence. How much is it now? Inspire series, Inspire Cendence, £949 or $1,399. The Radio Master. Is it the Radio Master? The T18. Have you had that yet? $1,400. That's how expensive it is. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Still in Singapore. Wow, that's taking its time, isn't it, Bruce? That really is. Now, what I will do is, for 2 seconds, I'll just find some pictures of this. I'll just quickly show you 1 or 2 pictures inside, because when I did strip this down, you see, I took all the pictures inside because I thought it would be handy to keep hold of them just in case I wanted to show anyone. And I just want to show a couple of pictures just to show what the build quality in it is like. And the interesting thing is there's another module inside. It's actually split into multiple modules with like PCI slots. And the radio, when you separate the radio in half, the module actually separates apart that way. Okay, found them. So what I want to do is click select. I actually put a set of instructions together on how to strip this remote because no one had done it before. Where's Dropbox? Actually, what I'll do is I will upload them to my iCloud drive. Because there's 2 bits I wanted to show you, basically, dear. I'm still missing my power supply as well, which is really frustrating. It really is annoying me now. Save 2 files. Here we go. iCloud drive. Yeah, I'm still waiting on my bench multimeter. Still hasn't arrived from Banggood. It's been a month now. Really is frustrating. Really is frustrating. Okay, so let's just bring this up for you guys. Let me just find it. iCloud drive. Here they come, and I will show you these images. Cool. Okay, found them. So, share the desktop. Here we go, guys. So this is the inside of the Cendence. I just want to share with you how it actually looks. That's that image there looking down as I was showing you just now. Now this is the inside of the remote from the top. Now here is that area I was saying, which is that fan, which is blowing through that duct and then up out. And what I was saying earlier about there being another slot module is this one here. So the 2 halves of the radio go together like that, and what you then have is the board actually goes together like that as well. So that's just a closer look at the fan assembly. It's really thin, that fan. It's like that big. It really is. Took a couple of pictures of the fan. That is that PCB, which I was showing you again with another edge connector on board, and that then has all of the controls on. This then is the power socket on the side of the remote for charging. Go away. And then this here is the other side of the radio, so the top half, because that is the bottom half of the radio, the back, which has the controls up on the side. And this is what I had to mess with. This had dislodged when mine arrived. And then that is the top half. And then what you have is your gimbals on either side. You've then got your top switches and your controls down by there. You've then got your, again, like PCI type edge connector coming in, and then you've got the multiple boards. You've got this board here with the stacked board on top of it here, and this then has the focus control on it as well. And then you've got the main USB connector that goes to the Crystal Sky bracket, which is located in the center. I took quite a few pictures of these on the inside. That's a better one there, so you're getting a better look over it. And again, this was an early production run. And what is interesting is, if you look down here, that's an SD card slot. I wonder what that would have been for. Really do wonder what that would have been for. Cool to see it, but don't know. Don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen these. If we, yeah, that's definitely an SD card slot. Definitely. SDIO, SDIO, SDIO. Very interesting indeed. You've then got all the other UARTs down by here. You've then got some more stuff there. You've then got another edge connector empty over there. So they clearly had some plans for other things on this. They really did. Just zoom right back out. Just showing you the top corner, showing you the bottom side. Again, the big PCI connector. And again, this is a very early production run. Mine was. It was the first final the first pre-production. So again, it's always interesting. DJI's hardware, even in the very early days, is very finished. It really is very finished. And that's the gimbals. Very similar to the gimbals they've always used. And that's it for the remote. Very interesting indeed. When it arrived, it was a shame I had to strip the damn thing down to fix it, but it was very interesting overall. It really was. But yeah, it's an expensive bit of kit if you're interested in it. But I thought I would share that. Got GPS? No GPS, Bruce. No. Cut the green wire. For tracking by night, they say, yeah, it's interesting if it's an SD card slot in there. I wonder what they'd have wanted that for. They don't have SDs in any of their remotes. None of them have SD cards. Weird, very weird. So, but no, that's it. Now, before I wrap up, guys, I was just going to talk a little bit about the file I shared this week. As I'm on the desktop, I don't know if you saw this. If you're a Cube Pilot user, so you are using the Cube Autopilot, HuLink specifically. I shared the script I made to use with Seagull. I've now shared that. It is available. It is there. The whole script is also up on GitHub now as well. If I go on GitHub, I've put it under my own one. I haven't shared it out totally yet, but the whole script is now up on Git as well. And that's the whole script there. And what I've now done is tidied it up. I've put text in. I've put a lot of stuff talking you through how the script works as well. And I've added all of that into it now, because the idea of this script is I am going to make a video on Lua scripting. And for me, the idea is if I've done this, it's about sharing some of what I've learned and giving you guys the ability to do this, the ability to try and do it yourself. And if you can get your head around a little bit of what the script is doing, then hopefully you can learn from that as well. And that was the idea of it. So I've written it all up. It's all done and dusted. The actual script file, which you can download on that link there, has all of the text in as well. It's all there if you download it. It's on Cube Pilot Forum. I've shared it on there. I've put a post on there about it. It's all shared. There's a basic overview. If you say it says what it does, and it tells you exactly what the script does all the way through as well. All the way through. So it is there, and it is there if people want it. It is going to allow it to work with this camera, with the Sony on the control, and it works perfect, absolutely outstanding. I'm really pleased with how it went. I've not known Lua scripting at all until I tried doing this. So I had a bit of help from Peter, who's absolutely fantastic. And then once I sort of got my head around the syntax requirements, It was flat out and get on with it. Now, if you guys have any questions before I finish up, please do put them in. I'm going to grab myself another bit of a drink. I'm going to need a bit of chocolate as well as we're finishing this one up. If you have got any questions, please do put them in. Let's go full screen. I'm going to find where I actually put my drink. Some other things this week. Finally got myself another Hue-Link receiver. Thank you, Ben. Ben at 3DXR in the UK. You are amazing. You are a superhuman. I could not do any of what I do without you guys. Thank you for sending this over. So now that means I can put the Hue-Link on 2 machines at once. Preference Vision UAV. Solex. I'm not a big fan of Q Ground Control. Okay. There are some things people need to understand between these two. Q Ground Control is open source, so the implementation of it on Hue-Link is Profi's implementation based on an open source controller. It is not the same as the open source version. Yes, the base libraries are all the same and they all come from it, but it is their tweaked version, which means you can't just install the off-the-shelf version on the device. It won't work. Pardon me. With regards to how to choose between the two, for me, I prefer Solex, but I'm not doing heavy mapping. I don't do heavy amounts of setting it up in advance and flying that way. It's not what I'm using this system for. So for me, I prefer Solex. I think the functionality is more in Solex. Kelly has been extremely active on taking feedback on and looking at it and adjusting it and working on it, and he's done an outstanding job. He really has. For me, it's Solex, but again, it's going to be down to your preference and what you're intending to do with it, and you might find some of the features in Solex don't work for you. For me, the features work best. Sorry, I didn't sleep much last night. The features work best for me with my rover and everything in Solex because of the fact you do have the Mavlink buttons and everything like that. So that's my preference. It really is. The system isn't perfect today. You know, it still has some issues. There's no question about that. It is 100 times better than it was. It took a lot longer to get to today than everyone would have liked, I think, but it's been really good and bolt on top of Lua scripting now. And then we have some real interesting opportunities with it. What about the setup? Is it the same? Yeah, it's identical now, because the only difference really between Q Ground Control and Solex TX for setup is the buttons. You've got the Mavlink buttons within Solex, which you don't have in Q Ground Control yet. So there is a slight difference on setup, but overall it's exactly the same. You're programming all the S-Bus buttons, all of the S-Bus buttons in the Hue-Link app now anyway. So that's exactly the same. It's just if you want to do the Mavlink commands, then you need to do that in Solex. So that's about the only difference. Just going to grab my drink and try to stop yawning. I think I'm going to make a noise. So that is pretty much it from me, gentlemen. We've done an hour and a half. It is a Sunday night. If there is any questions before we go, please do let me know. I hope some of the information I've provided has been interesting tonight. I tried to show some stuff I haven't actually ever shown on the channel before. As I said, over the years, I've been very lucky to have been involved in some of the testing of some of this equipment. It's not something I'm involved with anymore, so those days are long gone. Very different company these days. I've been very lucky over the years that companies have I'm good at breaking things is the term I'll use. So it's got me a long way with regards to beta testing and stuff like that. But it's not something I'm involved in anymore. So, you know, just like you guys, I don't see or hear much about what's coming. I still have the odd contact here and there, but nothing much now. I'm not expecting to see too much this year from a drone point of view. I'm certainly not expecting to see an Inspire 3 this year. Maybe November, December, depending on what their schedules are like. the one thing to remember with DJI is they're very good at knocking something together quick. But I think it's a long time off. That is it. Hopefully, if you guys are watching, join us on Tuesday. I believe we will be on Tuesday. It's been an interesting few days. I haven't had a chance to read Cap 1789 yet, the updated version, so I need to get that done tomorrow. That's one I do need to do. So we'll get it on. Finally, I'd just like to say I wish you, wherever you guys are in the world, a happy week. I hope everything wherever you are stays safe. As I said, if you've been considering getting the DJI FPV system, now is a good time. I think the prices is good. Hopefully we will see a price drop in the UK this week. It's Father's Day on Sunday, so we will be interested to see what happens. If we do, I'll try and go live Sunday night next week. My kids will be in bed by the time I do this, so it shouldn't be an issue. And we will see if the price has come down. We will know. I need to order some more ear units and stuff anyways, but if the price doesn't drop before then. On the channel, there's some videos. I've got the Prusa video I need to get finished. I've been messing with it for ages. It's taken way too long than it should have. I need to get the rest, another 2 or 3 of these Ardra Pilot videos filmed. I've hit my limit on what I've actually filmed on those 3. So I need to film RC control, Lua scripting, which that I'm not worried about that. We can smash that one out now. Final setup of the craft. The problem is I've been actually using this for testing the FPV system on the bench. So I've been stripping it apart, putting it back together, stripping it apart, but now I've put it into that other thing over there. I can actually get that finished now, and I'm looking to get a decent priced big frame. I want to do a big bird build. I want to actually do a big, wouldn't mind doing an S900 actually with a cube, because I think it's a really good combination, a really good combination. So I would like to do it. I'm just struggling to find the pricing on a frame and motors that's in my budget. You know, we're talking 500 quid just to get a frame minimum at the moment. Walkera Ladybird, is that a genuine or is that Bruce being Bruce? Let me have a look. Let me search for that, Bruce. Walkera Ladybird, a micro drone. You know what, Bruce? I want to buy a Whoop for FPV. Give me your advice. For DJI FPV, that is. What do you think? Because I've seen a few of these little craft go out. Have you come across any you think is the best? Because you've got, what's the little one you've got? Are you happy with it? Can you get me one to review? That's me pushing my luck. I do want to get a small DJI FPV one. I would love to review one on the channel as well, but I want to get one for me. So I want to review one so I can get one for me. But no, digital Whoop's a bit tricky. I'll see what I can do. iFlight Bumblebees. Yeah, you know, I've seen the iFlight ones. I really fancy one of these little ones. Let's have a look at it. Let's bring it up, shall we? Before I finish up, I need to... let's go on to desktop. Ooh, let's hit the button. I do love this commander. This is very good. Banggood. Problem with Banggood, it's never going to turn up. Oh, they've got them at unmanned aerial. And quadcopters. Let's have a look, shall we? So we'll close that. We'll close that. We close that. That is worth a look. I'm going to get one of them. I am getting one of them on the channel. Okay, so bumblebees. How small are they? 3 inch. Interesting. Don't get one with deep prop guards. Okay, so that's deep prop guards. Is that what you're saying is deep prop guards, Bruce? 400 quid. Oof. It's the only downside, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good drone money. Yeah. That's, you know, innit? You know, when you look at this, you think that's proper drone money, innit? That really is proper drone money. It really, really is. Okay, like I know that's heavily being driven by the DJI system cost. If I can retrofit. Are any of these putting vistas on any of these then? Or are they still using the full DJI? Of course, interesting. Look how much stuff's out of stock. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So the diatone deep things, so we're talking deep again. There's like none in stock, is there? Holly bro. You're not going to get the DJI on that, are you? That's a DJI one, but that's fairly big still, isn't it? Yeah, that's not small. Oh, not my idea of small, is it? Oh, it's a 3-incher, mind. It is a 3-inch. And they've got the Vista on board. I wonder what that is actually like then. 3 inches is still quite big though, isn't it? Yeah, that is a very nice little quad. That really is. As you say, you're going to destroy props on that in no time. Is there a prop guard attachment for that then? Because really, money-wise, that's pretty good. With the ear unit. Okay. And you were happy with that, if I remember, weren't you? Yeah, the Vista version, you're going to have a bit of a cut down on weight, aren't you? You know, that, to be fair, that isn't terrible. 274 quid. It's better than the others. So what size batteries are they recommending on that then? 4S 1.3. Jesus, that's a big pack. On a craft that size. Yeah, I'd love one of the tiny cine whoops. Depends in British, you know, it's British money. In dollars, that's about, I don't know, where are you, Type? Whereabouts in the world are you? I can't remember, mate. That's not bad. So who's that made by? Holly bro. 4 for 5 minutes of spirited flying. Small ones are good. Yeah, that's what I'm looking. It's a fairly lumpy thing, isn't it? DJI FPV Sale. There's very few out there, is there? Rotoraya, then you got the Mega Bee. So, no, that's. No, I was going to say. Yeah, definitely, Bruce. You know what? That's a video I'd watch. That really is a video I'd watch. Interesting. 3D printed shrouds. 225 quid with out the let's get rid of the evil company. Did he? Andy's a good guy as well. He's not as good as Bruce, obviously. Yeah. I wouldn't mind one of these small ones, just for around the house. I'd love... We need a smaller ear unit, don't we? We really do need... We want a smaller ear unit that's like 10 watts. 10 milliwatt. It doesn't need power, you know, for just around the house. Garden house. You know, 10 milliwatt, 25. Limit it to the 25. Damn thing gets out at 25 milliwatt, mind. I'm just wondering how much smaller it would be with the new camera on, because if you've got a Cendence, where are you? Cendence Vista. We've also got the new camera now. Oh, banger. Cendence FPV. So it'd be yeah. I do still have my analog FPV goggles, so I was thinking of selling my Fat Sharks. It's at the stage where I'm not using them anymore. I'm just not using them. Yeah, 69 quid, isn't it? Look at that. And I can have an FR Sky receiver. Stays in place. So I've seen your comment. Nicely done. KV rating. Yeah, you've had me with that one as well. Yeah, yeah. I got my Fat Sharks, so I can always use them. Look at that. You know, what's that? 69 quid. Okay, so if I add that to basket, what batteries are they recommending on that? Let's have a look. Did you say? I'm not into these. Big into these. Included 4S 300 milliamp hour 30C. So 4S. I love the fact they're all 4S's. 4 times 1S. Sorry, 4 times 1S batteries, not 4S. Sorry. Yeah, four batteries in the box. How long do they fly for, Bruce? Is that those little the little batteries? Yeah, so I read 4 times 1S. I read it as 4S, 1S. T-motor. Ooh, T-motor. Ooh, that sounds nice. What's the T-motor? Anything by T-motor sounds nice. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, yes, that's very nice. Substantially dearer, though. Cadix. Turtle FPV V2 4OSD. Okay. Interesting. You know, to be fair, as you say, that is... And then 1S 300 milliamp hour. There you go. Pack of 8 batteries, 23 quid. It's those ones, isn't it, Bruce, if I recall? But it's a racing animal, I bet it is. Be no good for me. I fancy something for smashing round, but no. I need to do something. I need to do something to annoy the family. So cool. Right, gentlemen. Thank you. Let's get full screen. Thank you for your time. Wherever you are in the world, please do stay safe. Remember, the human malware isn't over unless you're where Bruce is on the island, and he's the only person that's going to survive at the end of all of this. Wherever you are, stay safe. Please look after yourself and your families. Wherever you are, I will be going live again Sunday night. I'm also going to go random live again in the week like I did the other day, messing around with the lens. I'm going to do a few more random lives in the week as well. Just random stuff. So it's going to be totally random. I might do a random live on soldering because I ordered in some of these soldering boards. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'll quickly say this before I go. These test soldering PCBs. I ordered them in just to have a play with. Okay, look, I've been soldering for longer than I can remember, but I haven't done a huge amount of surface mount soldering. I ordered them in for using with the hot air station, so we might go live messing with that in the week and just do it, and just take you through some of the hot air soldering as well, because it's quite cool. Hot air soldering, and it's something I've done a bit of over the years but not a lot of, and I've bought some gear for it, and I think we might do a live stream on that in the week. It'll be a cool thing to do a live stream about. If not, I could save it for Sunday night. We'll see. Anyways, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, ladies, gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. I will speak to you again soon. I think we're doing Tuesday night. If we are, I'll see you then, Bruce. I hope you are well, my friend. Stay safe, and I will see everyone soon. Now I got to figure out how to turn this off. Find the screen, live streaming. Now I got to click the end stream. So, goodbye. Button 1, button 2.